In economics and sociology, the means of production are physical, non-human inputs used for the production of economic value, such as the facilities, machinery, tools, infrastructural capital and natural capital. The means of production includes two broad categories of objects: instruments of labor and subjects of labor. If creating a good, people operate on the subjects of labor, using the instruments of labor, to create a product. Or, stated another way, labor acting on the means of production creates a good. In an agrarian society, the means of production is the soil and the shovel. In an industrial society, it is the mines and the factories, and in a knowledge economy, the offices and computers. In the broad sense, the means of production includes the means of distribution such as stores, the internet and railroads. The ownership of the means of production and control over the surplus product generated by their operation is a key factor in categorizing different economic systems. In classical economics, the means of production is the factors of production minus financial capital and minus human capital. Related terms, factors of production are defined by German economist Karl Marx in his book Das Kapital as labor, subjects of labor, and instruments of labor. That is, the term is equivalent to means of production plus labor. The factors of production are often listed in economic writings derived from the classical school as land, labor and capital. Marx sometimes used the term productive forces equivalently with factors of production. In Capital, he uses factors of production. In his famous preface to the Critique of Political Economy, he uses productive forces. Production relations are the relations humans enter into with each other and using the means of production to produce. Examples of such relations are employer-employee, buyer-seller, the technical division of labor in a factory, and property relations. Mode of production, in political context, the facilities and resources for producing goods. Study of how people take over other governments using force and violence, not talks and agreements. Marxian economic analysis, the analysis of the ownership and control of the means of production, as well as the level of their technological sophistication, is a central component of Marxist theory. In Marxist theory, the process of socio-economic change and evolution is based on the premise of technological improvements in the means of production. As the level of technology improves, existing forms of social relations become inconsistent and unnecessary, creating contradictions between the level of technology and the means of production and how society is organized socially. These contradictions manifest themselves in the form of class conflicts, which develop to a point where the existing mode of production is no longer sustainable and collapses, leading to the emergence of a new mode of production based on a different set of social relations, most notable based on a different form of ownership over the means of production. Ownership of the means of production and control over the surplus product generated by their operation is the fundamental factor in delineating different economic systems. Capitalism is defined as private ownership and control over the means of production, where the surplus product becomes a source of unearned income for its owners. By contrast, socialism is defined as public ownership of the means of production so that the surplus product accrues to society at large. To the question of why classes exist in human societies in the first place, Karl Marx offered an historical explanation that it was the cultural practice of ownership of the means of production that gives rise to them. This explanation differs dramatically from other explanations based on differences in ability between individuals or on religious or political affiliations giving rise to castes. This explanation is consistent with the bulk of Marxist theory in which politics and religion are seen as mere outgrowths of the basic underlying economic reality of a people. See also. Footnotes, James M. Henslin. Essentials of Sociology. Taylor and Francis U.S. Pages 159. Michael Evans, Karl Marx, London, England, 1975. Part 2, Chap 2, Sect. A. Page 63. Flower, B.O. The Arena, Volume 37. The Arena Pub Company, originally from Princeton University. Pages 9, Marxism.org, Mode of Production. Engels' Socialism Utopian and Scientific Chapter 3 Historical Materialism pages 74. References: Institute of Economics of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR Political Economy, a textbook. London, Lawrence and Ishart.